A broken heart carries echoes that ripple through every word, every glance, every silence. When we carry the weight of unhealed pain, we cannot expect to place that burden gently into the hands of another and call it love. Love does not grow in fractured soil. Love does not thrive in a spirit that has not yet mended its own wounds. We must understand that the heart remembers, and when it remembers sorrow, betrayal, and loss, it builds walls disguised as safety. But those walls, though they protect, also confine. They keep out not only the dangers of yesterday but also the beauty of tomorrow. To love with a broken heart is to love with one hand clenched and the other trembling. And love deserves both hands open, steady and whole. There is a temptation to believe that another person's touch will heal the fracture, that their presence will stitch together the torn fabric of our spirit. Yet no hand, no matter how gentle, can mend what we ourselves refuse to face. Healing begins in silence, in honesty, in the courage to sit with the hurt until it no longer defines us. Only then can we offer love that is not soaked in fear, not tied to the ghosts of the past, but alive and strong in its own right. A heart must learn to breathe again, to find rhythm in its own song, before it joins with another. When we heal, we come to love not from emptiness but from fullness, not from desperation but from abundance. Only then can love grow tall, rooted in trust, watered by joy, and strong enough to withstand the winds of time. A broken heart is not just a wound in the chest, it is a wound in the soul, in the memory, in the very way a person moves through the world. When the heart is fractured, it whispers distrust into the ear, it trembles at tenderness, it stiffens at the possibility of being held. And so, when such a heart reaches out to build love, it does not build a home but a house of fragile glass. The smallest pressure can cause it to shatter. The slightest doubt can make it collapse. Love, real love, is not crafted from broken pieces stacked together in hope. Real love is born from strength, from patience, from wholeness. You cannot patch together the remnants of yesterday's pain and expect them to cradle today's joy. To build strong love, one must first become strong within. One must first learn the music of healing, the rhythm of forgiveness, the harmony of peace. The truth is plain, though often avoided, broken hearts cannot build strong love. They can build longing. They can build desperation. They can build fragile bonds that sway with every gust of fear. But strength, no endurance. No, the kind of love that stands against storms, that kind of love must rise from a heart that has first found its own healing. Think of a seed planted in soil cracked and dry. You may water it with the best intentions, you may shade it from the burning sun, yet the roots cannot stretch deep where the earth has no nourishment. So it is with love. A heart not yet healed is barren soil. The seed may sprout, but it will wither under the weight of unresolved sorrow. But when the soil is made rich again, when it is renewed by rain and time and care, then what grows will not only rise but flourish. How many of us have tried to love before our hearts were ready? How many of us have rushed from pain to passion, hoping that the warmth of another's presence would silence the echoes of loneliness? We enter with half-formed wings, believing that another person will teach us to fly. But broken wings cannot lift a body high. Broken wings beat against the air in vain. They tire, they ache, and eventually they fall. Love, when joined with brokenness, becomes exhaustion rather than liberation. There is no shame in having a broken heart. To have loved and lost, to have trusted and been betrayed, to have dreamed and seen the dream dissolve, these are the stories written into every human soul. Pain is part of our becoming. But the danger lies not in the breaking. The danger lies in denying the need for healing. When we cover our wounds with the cloth of denial, when we pretend strength while trembling inside, when we rush into the arms of another while we have not yet embraced ourselves, we do not create love. We create dependency. And dependency is not love. It is fear in disguise. It is a tender thing, this healing of the heart. It asks for patience. It asks for silence. It asks us to sit with the very ache we wish to escape. Healing says, do not run from me. Do not mask me with distraction. Do not drown me with hurried affections. Face me, see me, tend to me. Healing asks us to take time, and time is often the last thing we want to give. But time is the only soil in which true healing grows. A broken heart is like a house where every room echoes with absence. Healing does not happen by inviting new guests into that house before it has been cleaned, repaired, renewed. Healing means walking through each room, dusting off the memories, mending the broken windows, letting light fall again where shadows have lingered. Only then can the doors be opened to welcome someone new. not as a rescuer, not as a repairman, but as a companion. It is tempting to believe that another's love will be the cure. It is a sweet thought, a romantic story told in poems and songs. But the truth is more demanding. No one else can heal what we ourselves will not face. Another's love can soothe, yes. It can support, yes. It can hold us in tenderness while we cry. But the deep work, the work of forgiveness, the work of self-acceptance, the work of learning to trust ourselves again, that is a task we must embrace alone. And when we do, we emerge not empty but whole. Consider the river. When it is blocked by stones, the water cannot flow freely. It pools, it stagnates, it loses its song. To restore its music, the stones must be moved. Our hearts are rivers, and pain is the stone that halts the flow. Healing is the hand that lifts the stone, little by little, until the current runs clear once again. Only then can the river join another, merge its waters, and create a force wider, deeper, stronger. Strong love does not fear storms. Strong love does not crumble at conflict. Strong love does not run from silence. But such strength cannot be carried by brokenness. A heart cracked by yesterday's betrayals will see threats in every shadow, lies in every pause, abandonment in every absence. And so, instead of love, it builds suspicion. Instead of intimacy, it builds walls. Instead of trust, it builds tests. That is not the architecture of strong love. That is the architecture of fear. Healing transforms suspicion into discernment. It transforms walls into boundaries. It transforms tests into trust. Healing allows us to love not blindly, not desperately, but wisely and freely. It gives us the courage to say, I am enough as I am. I do not need to be completed by another. I seek not a rescuer but a partner. And from that place of fullness, the love we build will not only stand, it will endure. There are people who carry their brokenness as armor, who wear it as proof of strength. They say, I have been hurt, but I will not be hurt again. They confuse hardness with healing, distance with safety. But love cannot enter where the door is bolted shut. Love cannot breathe where the air is thick with bitterness. Healing is not hardening. Healing is softening without breaking, opening without fear, trusting without losing wisdom. When a heart has healed, it does not forget the pain. It remembers, but it remembers with gratitude rather than resentment. It remembers as a teacher, not as a jailer. A healed heart can say, yes, I was broken, but I am whole again. Yes, I was wounded, but I carry scars as evidence of my survival, not as shackles of my suffering. That is the kind of heart that can love with depth, with freedom, with strength. The broken heart cries out, do not leave me. The healed heart says, I am whole even when alone. The broken heart clings desperate to fill its emptiness. The healed heart gives, overflowing with abundance. The broken heart doubts every promise, suspicious of every gesture. The healed heart receives with open hands and offers without fear of loss. One creates fragile ties, the other creates bonds that stand firm. To heal is to reclaim our power. To heal is to say, the pain of yesterday will not dictate the joy of today. To heal is to gather the shattered pieces of the self and weave them into something new, something strong, something beautiful. Only then can we offer love not as fragments, not as shadows, but as light. Love is not a bandage. Love is not an escape. Love is not the erasure of our wounds. Love is a meeting of two whole souls, walking side by side, carrying their histories yet unchained by them. When two healed hearts meet, they do not complete each other, they celebrate each other. They do not cling from fear, they hold from choice. They do not demand salvation, they create sanctuary. Yes, broken hearts cannot build strong love. They can build longing, they can build passion. They can build fleeting moments of joy. But strength requires more. Strength requires the steady hands of healing, the quiet courage of patience, the deep wisdom of self-knowledge. Without healing, love is a house built on sand. With healing, love is a temple carved into stone. And so if the heart is broken, let it mend. Let it take time. Let it grieve, let it weep, let it rage, let it rest. Do not rush it into the arms of another. Do not force it to smile when it still trembles. Let it heal, for healing is not weakness. Healing is preparation. Healing is strength in its most tender form. And when that healing is done, when the heart beats steady and whole once more, then the love it builds will not only endure, it will soar. The heart is the keeper of stories too deep for language, carrying whispers of promises broken and dreams dissolved. When it is broken, it trembles at the touch of tenderness, it recoils at the sight of trust, it questions every smile that dares to reach toward it. A broken heart does not only bleed, it remembers, and in remembering it builds walls. and while those walls may feel like protection, they also keep love at a distance, watching it knock, listening to it call, but never quite letting it in. When we try to build love on a foundation that is cracked, the walls lean, the roof leaks, the floors shake. It may stand for a moment, but storms will come, and when they do, the house will fall. Strong love cannot rise on broken beams. It cannot rest on fragile ground. It needs wholeness. It needs healing. It needs the steady rhythm of a heart that has mended itself, that has chosen to let go of bitterness, that has chosen to make peace with its past. Many people chase after love while still bleeding. They run into the arms of another with the hope that being held will erase the ache inside them. For a time it may feel soothing. For a time, the laughter may drown out the sorrow. For a time, the warmth of another body may feel like healing. But soon, the hidden wounds resurface, demanding to be seen, demanding to be tended. No one can carry those wounds for us. No one can sew the torn fabric of our soul while we refuse to pick up the needle. Healing is a solitary journey, even if love walks beside us. To heal is to return to ourselves. It is to look into the mirror and see not just the scars but the strength that came from surviving them. It is to say, I was broken, but I am not destroyed. I was hurt, but I am not hopeless. I was wounded, but I am worthy of love that does not wound me further. Healing is slow. It is often unseen. It is the quiet work of choosing forgiveness over resentment, of choosing growth over stagnation, of choosing to stay open even when closing seems safer. A heart unhealed is suspicious. It sees betrayal where there is honesty. It imagines abandonment where there is presence. It mistrusts joy because joy feels too fragile to last. But a healed heart learns to rest. It learns to trust again, not blindly, but wisely. It learns to give love without fear of emptiness, because it has already filled itself from within. Such a heart no longer grasps desperately for someone else to complete it, because it has learned to stand in its own fullness. Broken hearts cannot build strong love because brokenness breeds fear, and fear cannot hold hands with freedom. Strong love is not the desperate clutch of two people trying not to drown. It is the steady stride of two souls who know how to swim, who choose to swim together. Strong love is not the patchwork of unresolved pain, it is the tapestry woven by healed hands. Strong love is not survival, it is creation. Think of a garden. When the soil is poisoned, the flowers struggle to grow. You can plant the seeds, you can water them, you can place them in sunlight, but the roots will not take hold. They will curl, they will weaken, they will die. The soil must be cleansed, renewed, enriched before the garden can bloom. Our hearts are that soil. If they carry the toxins of resentment, of grief left untended, of anger unhealed, then love cannot blossom as it should. It may sprout, it may look alive for a season, but it will wither. Healing is the cleansing of the soil. Healing is the rain that makes the ground fertile again. Healing is the sunlight that breaks through after the storm. Love is not the healer we imagine it to be. Love is a companion to healing but not its source. Love can comfort, yes. Love can remind us that we are not alone, yes. But love cannot perform the surgery of the soul. Only honesty, forgiveness, patience, and time can do that. Only courage can take the hand of pain and walk it out of the shadows. Only reflection can take the broken pieces and arrange them into a new shape, one that is both scared and sacred. When we have healed, love no longer feels like a rescue. It feels like a partnership. When we have healed, we do not run to love because we are afraid of being alone. We walk to love because we are ready to share the abundance of who we already are. When we have healed, we do not beg for someone to fill our emptiness. We invite them to dance with our wholeness. That is the difference between broken love and strong love. Strong love is not about possession. It is not about control. It is not about fear of loss. It is about freedom. It is about two people standing tall, side by side, not leaning on each other out of weakness, but holding each other out of choice. And such love can only come from hearts that have done the hard work of mending. Hearts that know their worth. Hearts that have faced their shadows. Hearts that are no longer running from themselves. So let the heart heal. Let it take its time. Let it ache, let it grieve, let it release what needs releasing. Do not rush it into the arms of another, for that is not love. That is escape, and escape is temporary. But when healing has come, when the heart has found peace within its own rhythm, then love can grow strong, love can endure, love can lift. For love born from healing is not fragile glass. It is tempered steel, it is oak with deep roots. It is the kind of love that weathers storms and still stands tall. Then let the heart be made whole before it dares to love. Do not rush to build on broken ground, for what rises too quickly will surely fall. Take the time to mend, to forgive, to breathe again. For when the heart is healed, love is not a chain, but a choice, not a burden, but a blessing, not a fragile hope, but a fortress of strength. And from a whole heart comes a love that cannot be shaken, a love that will not wither, a love that endures.